Grab Bag, a collection of newspaper columns by James H. Jones from the 1970s and 1980s. The phenomenon called déjà vu is that peculiar sensation of experiencing some event that's happened to you before. The phenomenon called déjà vu is that peculiar sensation of experiencing some event that's happened to you before. It takes in a wide swath of weirdness, that category called psychic phenomenon, ESP, precognition, telekinesis, and a whole bunch of other strangeness. And who can say what forces may be at work in another dimension? I don't understand electricity at all, but I keep my fingers out of light sockets anyway. Some of it's hard to argue with. Well, for instance, how come, after 3 weeks of total drought, why do we bust out with a mud-splattering gully washer of a rain the day after you've scrubbed every window in the house sparkly bright? It's pulling into the driveway at home with a car full of kids and getting the sudden intuition that Jennifer's sneakers and the boys' snorkel masks are sitting back at the picnic table 40 miles away at the public beach. Or knowing deep in your bones that the cocktail frock you just shelled out $55 for would have been in the store's big sidewalk sale 2 days later marked down to $17. Who can doubt what forces exist? Long before the Cardiff Giant hoax, the idea of extraterrestrial forces has intrigued people. Flying saucers, Bigfoot, the abominable snowman, the Loch Ness flopper, they're an awesome lot. Or the fascinating prognosticator Jane Dexon, who makes the most uncanny predictions, an astounding percentage of which purportedly come true. On the late night show the other night, for example, she let fly with a volley of pronouncements for the future that she'd womped up. Here are but a few of the telepathic tidbits she unleashed. 1. The Winter Olympics will never be held in Death Valley. 2. The forthcoming presidential election will be won by someone from the Democratic or Republican Party. 3. The official U.S. capital will not be moved to Disneyland, whichever party wins. 4. Zsa Zsa Gabor will probably marry again or get divorced, depending upon her current status. 5. Nelson Rockefeller will soon relinquish his office of vice president. 6. Olga Corbett will not marry Omar Sharif in the near future. 7. The Detroit Tigers will not win the World Series in 4 straight games this year. 8. Jerry Ford will not announce Elizabeth Ray as his running mate. 9. Henry Kissinger will not star in a forthcoming movie based on the life of Jack Dempsey. 10. The Pulitzer Prize for Literature will not be won by Mickey Spillane this year. These are 10 fearless forecasts, only a smattering of the bold auguries made on the show by this lady who, in her casting of the future, touches both bases, astrology and religion. No sense taking any chances. She demonstrated, for example, the baffling science of graphology, working up a complete on-the-spot psychological profile of the personalities of 2 men simply by studying their signatures. With a mystic power that boggles the mind, she captured in detail the backgrounds, motivations, and personal preferences of each of these human beings whom she had never met, simply by examining their signatures. Adolf Hitler and Mahatma Gandhi. Incredible. She followed this up with a brief reading of the astrological chart of the host, Johnny Carson. According to the position of the planets, the reading indicated that he was a heck of a swell guy who would be well advised for the future success of his TV career to include Jane Dexon as a guest with great regularity. Looking into daughter Kathy's face the other day, I couldn't help but remark to her, "Hey, I like your freckles." "I guess I do too," she replied. "I'm glad," I told her. "You know you get 'em from me." "Yeah," she said with a pixie grin, "from you and the sun." It's hard these days to get complete credit for anything.